Red button means we're live, a casual take with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to even take off my chest. So last night, the Houston Rockets even the series up one apiece against the Golden State Warriors. Jalen Green, heck of a game, 38 points. But they did so against a Warriors team that was without Jimmy Butler for the majority of the game with a tailbone injury. And also to note, Pods, a starter, the starting two guard, was in limited action due to food poisoning. So did the other Warriors step up and try to pull this going off? Absolutely not. And that's a problem. So let's talk about this for a second, okay? The Warriors have been so good with Jimmy that we've totally forgotten how bad they were before he showed up. I mean, remember, this was a below 500 team, 25 and 27 without Jimmy on the season. And boy, did they look like one last night. Like Steph had 20, but no other Warrior had more than 12. Like, that's just pathetic. It's a playoff game, and here's Steph for 3 quarters running out there with G Leaguers. I mean, the Rockets, despite being the underdogs in the series, with all those lottery picks and veterans, are actually the deeper team. But I picked the Warriors, like many others, to win this series on the backs of Steph and Jimmy. But if Jimmy's out of the equation, then it just completely exposes the lack of depth on Golden State because he's the glue. He's their connector. He's the guy who holds it together, especially in the non-Steph minutes, which historically the Warriors have struggled with. But when the glue melts, you start seeing these pieces that can't shoot, can't defend, dribble, apply pressure to the rim, rebound. They're not good at all. You know, it's like the worst supporting cast out of all Western Conference playoff teams. And it's ultimately why I didn't like the Warriors' chances of going on a deep playoff run coming in, even with a healthy Jimmy. It's because from the jump, I knew how bad the supporting cast was. And if, let's say, they were to advance past Houston, which looks like, cross your fingers right now, but they would face a Laker or a Minnesota team. They're just deeper and more offensively competent than Houston. I just can't see the Warriors, given the supporting cast, beating those teams. And I'm just looking at this box score, man. Just Jimmy Butler went down with when they were trailing by 4. They lost the remaining minutes, which was basically like 3 quarters, by 11. And you're going to see why. Draymond Green in 30 minutes, he doesn't provide anything offensively as far as scoring in 2025. He's Mr. Triple Single. Moses Moody, a guy who I actually like, Curtis doesn't play him. He only played 24 minutes, and he's a starter. Pods, bless his heart, he tried to go out there with some food poisoning, but in the limited action he did play, he was 0 for 5. Kuminga, I absolutely see now why Steve Kerr doesn't play him. The kid doesn't fit. He's a waste of talent on this team. 4 for 12 in 26 minutes last night. Guy Santos, literally, if you could tell me what he did on the basketball court, good, I would be surprised. Quinn Post is a 7-foot center who in 25 minutes gets 2 rebounds. Yuck. Buddy Hield is a complete negative if he can't shoot threes. Gary Payton can't shoot threes at all. In Pat Spencer, shout out to you, he had 11 points, but he's a lacrosse player. He banked in a 3. Those were the luckiest 11 points. That's who Steph has to run out there in a playoff game as a supporting cast. I kid you not. This is the lineup that Steve Kerr had to play immediately when Jimmy Butler went down. Spencer, Hield, Kuminga, Dre, Post. Jesus Christ. There should be no world where that 5 should be playing a second of playoff basketball. But Kerr had no choice. Because when you look down the Warriors roster, we think this is a contender, but I'm like, this feels like a depleted team, extremely top-heavy. And it's why for the past 2 years on this platform, I've been extremely critical of the Warriors front office. Because I've always said that 2022 championship was the luckiest championship ever, not by the players. Steph and those guys completely earned it, but by the front office. They lucked into that championship because post-KD, they have blown, in my opinion, every opportunity to increase this dynasty's length and have all these depth pieces. Because when KD left after that 2019 finals, their dynasty went on hiatus because their core guys like Steph and Clay just dealt with injuries. So they had this opportunity to stockpile on all these rich draft picks, including the 2nd overall pick. They draft Wiseman at 2, Kuminga the following year, I believe at like 7. They could have had, I don't know, LaMelo Ball, Franz Wagner, Tyrese Halliburton on this team right now. Could you imagine Golden State with those players? They also drafted Moody, but they barely play Moody. Another first rounder is on Jordan Poole, but they shipped that guy out for a 1-year rental of Chris Paul. Like Golden State, if they would have just nailed those draft picks, We're talking about a team that's so deep. They win last night's game in Houston, even without Jimmy Butler. And you feel much more confident about them winning the championship, or at least going far with Jimmy Butler. But they whiffed. But for Golden State, they get games 3 and 4 at Chase Center. You know that crowd's going to be rocking. But if Jimmy, we don't know the status of him yet, but if he were to miss even one more game, Golden State, just given how feisty Houston is, young, athletic, competitive, they're in major trouble. But what do you guys think about Golden State right now? I appreciate everyone for tuning into this episode of A Casual Take. Follow my social media, stay up in all things related to the show.